this. When you're nosing this, what I'm going to do is let you all try it and see how you all try a whiskey and go from there. How's that?
Seems really sweet on the nose, like lots of caramel and vanilla.
Yeah.
These bombed it, don't they?
Excuse me.
These look like you've done.
I bombed mine. I
Oh, right, okay.
I know 5 drops in mine. I didn't.
How's everyone?
It's alright. It is sweet, smooth.
Yeah.
And,
You say bells or something.
yeah.
Everyone get that? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you not a whiskey fan?
I
didn't get that.
Bourbon whiskey. I love bourbon whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Scotch.
Do you not? Is that bad experience when you were growing up, or is it just yourself?
I don't know really. My palate's just
When
not
you get
me.
used to that
I quite like the
sweetness,
sweetness of the bourbons
Yeah.
really.
Do you know what you phrased that like it was a massive psychological problem?
No.
Did you have a bad experience as a child?
To be fair,
Have you had counselling for this?
No. I had one with Famous Grouse, and so I hated the stuff. Well, not hated whiskey for ages. So I can see why some people don't like whiskey because they just I'm never drinking that again. You know, some people I've been to places where they'll just nose it. Oh my god, that just brings it all back, and just spill it kind of thing. So. What you'll find is, I think you've tried one whiskey, you're going to try a few. There are some really sweet ones, and the idea really, like I said to you, you'll probably find one which is really sweet and easy to drink, and you'll enjoy it. But what you'll find with White Mackay is exactly what you said over there. Very vanilla, easy to drink, a bit of sherry taste in there, very smooth on the palate. Easy. Basically, I find it really easy to drink compared to most whiskies. For an entry level, it's very easy, not that challenging at all. But yeah. I mean, if you're looking at things like your J&B, which is a very light J&B Rare, it's a very light whiskey. I always argue against that. Is you're not really then trying a whiskey when you're trying something as light as that, because you are just then trying, it's close enough to being an Irish whiskey more than anything else. So.
Auchentoshan.
Yeah. I get. So I mean, with White Mackay, you are then in a sense trying a proper whiskey. But it has all that flavours, it has that rough and toughness in it, and etc. Really. As you're all putting in the 13-year-old, I'll go through. You got that label on Chivas Regal?
Yeah. 30-year-old with brown.
30-year-old, yes.
The world's spirits.
Yes. 30-year-old is now the best whiskey, deluxe whiskey.
Is that the 2009 one?
Yeah.
Well done.
Came out, I saw the magazine running.
Go on YouTube.
There's loads of yours in there. Well,
Yeah, Glavar's the best whiskey liqueur. Well, best whiskey liqueur.
Jura did quite well.
Jura does really well and all. We're quite good. It's just the problem is because we're such a smaller company compared to the Diageos and so forth, we can't market it as well as them. But I mean, a White Mackay range. I mean, if you ever get time, go onto YouTube and just kind of search Richard Patterson on there. And the guy's hilarious, and he's a big bird, but he's hilarious. Big bird. He's a huge bird. It's horrible. I took him in. Yes, he's a brilliant guy anyway.
It's rolling again.
He's our master blender, Richard Patterson. Fantastically funny guy. Apart from he calls me Sandy. For 2 weeks he called me Sandeep, and I was like,
not correct it?
and I was like, well, it's kind of one of them things.
He's a very important man.
It's a very important man. So I was like, I'll leave him to it, and yeah, it was that case basically. And then it started getting annoying. So I was like, every time he said it's Harry, and he was like, yes, Sandeep, yes, and I was like, Harry. And I was kind of trying to throw it in, and it just didn't work. So then one of the bosses had to go and say, no, his real name's Harry. And then literally he forgot 30 seconds later. So I went home that week, and I was like, because how the Salesforce team, I'm the only Asian guy in a sense working for them. So I was like, so how can you get the one Asian guy who works in the Salesforce team name wrong?
The only one?
I'm the only one. I mean, there's not like there's another, Rick or whatever working for it. There's only one Hardy, so try and get that right, but no, it didn't work. So I was just like,
Are you still Sandy?
yeah, I'm still Sandeep to this day. I get an email, it says on email, Hardeep.Sindar, White It says, hi Sandeep, and I'm like, I just kind of just give up, and I was like, how do you get it wrong, really? But oh well. I go through a bit on the other two. The other two really famous. You're using Chivas Regal and Black Label are two kind of the other Dulex really.
We've used all of our Black Label
Have you?
since we were last here. It's part of our clearing up our shelves
It's
job.
good stuff. Well, they used to use Black Label. Basically, the way they Diageo marketed Black Label was to be like the Dulex fantastic single malt. You know, you're drinking a Johnny Walker, you're drinking a good whiskey. People get thrown into that whole idea of the Johnny Walker Blue is then the best blended whiskey. It's not, because the 30-year-olds just won it, for example. But then it comes down to the
Expensive.
All of the ones that we stock.
30-year-old. The Johnny Walker Blue is about 120
A few tasting notes, I think.
quid. You can probably pick a bottle up.
You get that Johnny Walker Prince Charles now as well.
But our White Mackay 40-year-old's 550 quid, so you know there are some expensive ones. But then what happened was Chivas Regal, again, both of them were fantastic whiskies, but Chivas Regal then decided, because Johnny Walker make a Johnny Walker Red, so they had so what they've done is they've done like what White Mackay have done in a sense, but they led in with Johnny Walker Black, and then whoever had said, oh, you can use red is maybe your poor and your premium as black. But then what happened was Chivas Regal, which is brilliant marketing in their own way, and just went, our whiskey starts from a Dulex whiskey. Chivas Regal, when you're drinking a whiskey, one of our products, you're drinking a decent whiskey. And they came in with a 12-year-old. They don't do us, a younger one. They came in with a 12-year-old. Fantastic marketing. And then they went on 18-year-old. When you're drinking that 18, you're drinking a bloody good whiskey. And it is good whiskey in its own way. And and for them, and I think you won't see, I don't know, you in an Optic and an old man's boozer because of that reason. Yeah, so no, I've seen Jura on Optics. I'm like, no, don't
Really?
Yeah, I've seen Jura. I'm just like, no, you can't put that on Optic. They're like, yeah, but we sell 2 bottles of it a week. And I was like, keep it on Optic, then it's cool. You know what I mean? Just keep it on there. Just don't let no one know from my company, please. And they're like, okay, so yeah, totally. So as long as he's selling shed loads of it, I'm happy, really, in a sense. But them two marketing is fantastic. The products are great. We're going on to the 13-year-old now. We all put a little drink in. Have you got the lids? Or have we lost that?
There we go.
Yeah. Cheers.
Nope, we're just going to have to finish it.
What you find with the 13-year-old, what we've done with this is, as a whiskey, and this goes on to single malts and all, and so you might hear me say it again, but and I think it's even with the rums, somebody was telling me, but it peaks earlier for the rums, as I read. It goes to a peak and then kind of filters out in a sense. So, for example, hence why the 30-year-olds won and not the 40-year-old, because it peaks for us at the 30, around that age, and then kind of filters when it gets to the 40.
I think it's the weathering, like when it runs with such a warmer climate, you get a difference in heat.
Yeah.
And that
Because it gets so cold at night, it's basically having a summer around the thing.
it gets through a lot more.
You get a lot of
Definitely.
vanilla.
Yeah. So again with us, when you're going on to the 13, you will now taste a lot more of that caramel in there. Again, it's aged for 13. We've aged it for an extra year simply because I think partly with the marketing wanted it to be not a 12-year-old but a 13-year-old, so it's good. We're 1 year better than Black Label. But on top of that, I think it's partly because it's because of the double marriage process. So we've married it for that year longer to then allow it to be smoother on the
You said
palate.
that you just had the grain after you've had all the malts
Yes.
together. So it's all the malts at once.
Yeah.
Right. Does no one else do this?
I'll tell you a little story if you wanted me, but basically, Famous Grouse got famous because a guy called Richard came down. Yeah, so for the special, it's 35 malts and 6 grains. But yeah, Famous Grouse got famous because of the double marriage process. A guy called Richard used to be the sales force for him, basically for the whole of England. Came down England, went to all the major cities, sold them double marriage process. So to everybody about this double marriage, how smooth it is and how brilliant it is. Now they stopped doing that double marriage, so again that inconsistency it's in that Famous Grouse. We've always done it, but we never had someone coming down to England and really selling it in that sense until now. Bell's is very much an English Scotch. It's hated up in Scotland, partly because the head office got moved down to London and so many people got made redundant. But again, they're very inconsistent. If you ever, when you went to a supermarket last, you might have seen the Bells have changed from an 8-year-old to original. The actual story behind that was in the late 70s, mid 80s, there